Okay, welcome one and all to the 2023 Rocky View Leadership Academy Connect Summit, and thank you so much for joining us. I am a Year 3 RVLA student. My name is Milo Clark, and I go to WH Croxford.
My name is Kennedy. I am also a Year 3 student here, and I attend George McDougall here in Airdrie.
We'll be your MCs for this event, but before we get started, it is important to recognize the land on which we are seated with our land acknowledgement. Rocky View Schools acknowledges and recognizes all the Indigenous peoples whose footprints have marked these lands from time immemorial. Together, we can learn and honor the ways of knowing of Indigenous peoples and all peoples for future generations.
There are over 100 student and staff attendees from across RVS here with us today, including some members of our division's Board of Trustees, our Superintendent Greg Luterbach, and our Associate Superintendent of Learning, Lori Mayer. Special shout out to the RVS CLC Principal, Mr. Greg Rankin, who has made it his mission to show up for us, even for a little bit each session. Thank you for your support. As well, we have parents, grandparents, or other friends and family here today. On behalf of RVS LA, we would like to thank you for being our guests today and look forward to sharing a little taste of our Leadership Academy with you.
Today's Connect Summit is the culmination of a year of personal and team leadership development. It offers students a platform to share their learning with their peers, parents, and RVS staff. The event is founded on the program's mission to deepen sense of self and broaden our network of connections. We all know that student voices matter, and today is just another opportunity to learn from one another's wisdom.
We ask that all cell phones please be put on silent so we can respect and give our attention to all of our speakers. Families, you would have received an electronic copy of today's program, but you will also find paper copies available from some of our designated student hosts. Please wave designated student hosts if you are here today. Somewhere.
I think they're still outside.
Okay, well, they are probably outside, but they have paper copies for you. The presentations will be shared in sets, and speakers in a set will be introduced all at once. Please do not enter or leave during a set. We have built-in movement breaks to ensure our audience has time to stretch, use the washroom, or refill waters. Speaking of washrooms, they are outside. If you go all the way down and right, you will find them located by a sign at the end of the hallway.
The speaker sets today are organized into 3 themes. These are the 3 stories leaders tell. These themes are who am I, who are we, and where are we going? These themes are based on a book by Christine Cavanaugh Simmons, and this leadership consultant and author reminds us that leaders must be storytellers. We must be able to lead ourselves first, which is the primary focus of Year 1 of RVLA, then build our shared identity, the primary focus of Year 2, and finally reflect upon where we've been and where we would like to go, which is the focus for Year 3 and underpins our Year 3 legacy project each year.
This year, there is no formal Q&A built in after each speaker, but we encourage folks to find our speakers and presenters during any movement break or our lunch break and ask them questions or share your feedback then. We hope that this still inspires some interaction and connection with our viewing audience. As you can see, all of our student presentations will be filmed and recorded by our RVS Learning and Tech specialists, Allison Turner and Alex Sedul. Eventually, they'll be putting them up on Rocky View's YouTube for you to look at, and you can binge watch your favorite presentations at any time. Shout out to Allison and Alex and to Thomas Martins as well, one of our Year 2 students who is helping this year with the filming.
Our first student speaker set will be launching our speeches today with this series on the theme, Who Am I? According to Cavanaugh Simmons, this is the first type of leadership story that leaders must be able to tell, and it is arguably the hardest. Year 1 of our RVLA program is designed to help students to start thinking about this question and to learn to define who they are and how they want to lead based upon their core values.
Coming up in our first set, we have Brooklyn from WG Murdoch, Logan from WH Croxford and RVS The Farm, Lucy from Bicycle Community School, Jenna from Bow Valley High, and Priya from Chestermere High. Kicking us off, we have Brooklyn. So welcome, Brooklyn.
I'm not gonna lie, I am terrified of spiders. I'm terrified of spiders, but last year I got the opportunity to go to Screamfest with some friends, and there I had the chance to hold a tarantula, one of my biggest fears. At first, I was terrified. I mean, it's a tarantula, but I did it anyways. I spent $10 whole to hold a tarantula for a couple minutes, and it was fine. I wasn't liberated or anything, but I thought that because I accomplished such a big thing, I held such a big spider, that when I saw a small one, it would be easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? That was not the case. A couple days later, I was sitting in my room and I saw a spider on my floor. A literal daddy longlegs no bigger than the size of my thumb. And I freaked out. I tried to rationalize it by telling myself to grab a newspaper and a glass and take the spider outside. I got the newspaper and I got the glass, and when I took a step forward, I flipped out and started crying, like bawling my eyes out crying over this little spider. And I thought to myself how stupid I was for thinking this, because I just held a tarantula a couple days earlier. But it made me realize that it's not the big things that set me back. It's the little things. Now, this isn't my first time creating this presentation. My other one was flawlessly done. I'm not bragging or anything, but it was basically perfect. It was constructed and well organized and rehearsed, and it was done to a T. And then Miss Curry came along and said, "Put your personality in it." At first, I was confused, and if I'm being honest, I was really uncomfortable. I've been told since I was a kid that I was good at public speaking and presentations, and there's two reasons for that. Number one, I didn't care what people thought of me. And number two, I made sure that it was so perfectly rehearsed that there would be no room for criticism. If I let my personality shine through even a little bit, then there would be room for criticism. So I hid away from that. But now this project is bringing it to light. But it's not the end of the world. And this experience is truly shaping me as a leader. I've spent my life so focused on the details that I forgot about the bigger picture, which just leads to saying that I am a perfectionist since I was a kid and currently now. Over various projects in school, I focused on the little details down to a T. I remember in grade 6, I had to do the egg drop project. Basically, you had a limited budget to buy materials so an egg wouldn't crack when being dropped from a 20-foot building. I'm pretty sure I made the most complicated design. I attached straws to it because they were flexible and could bend. I stuffed it with styrofoam and cotton balls, anything you could think of. I finished it, and when I went to hand it in, I forgot that it was being dropped from a 20-foot building. I needed a parachute. At that point, I had limited money, so instead of getting a big garbage bag as a parachute, I only got a little piece of one. I attached it, launched it off the roof, and it cracked. I had failed. The one that won was an egg sitting in a styrofoam cup attached to a garbage bag. It was that simple, but I had been so focused on the little details that I fell short in the long run. But nobody remembers that I failed. I'm not even sure anybody remembers who won. I certainly don't remember. I've spent my life so focused on the details that I've forgotten about the bigger picture entirely. I read a quote once that said, "If you focus too much on the leaf, you'll miss the whole tree. But if you focus on the tree, you'll miss the whole forest." I have lived my life so focused on the leaf that I've forgotten about the whole entire forest entirely. In reality, it's not about the little details you need to fixate your time on, it's the bigger picture. And don't feel judged if you're not trying to perfect those little things. And even more, nobody cares about the little mistakes you make along the way. You are human. People are too wrapped up in their own life to even be able to comprehend the little mistakes in your own. The world does not revolve around you, and that is the most comforting thing I have experienced. The things that I feared and this little stuff I was embarrassed about were really just me being human. I mean, nobody remembers that I cracked an egg off of a 20-foot building. How is it expected that anybody is going to remember that you fell in gym class in grade 4? Think about it this way. Look at the future. 10 years down the line, you're going to have a job and play a small role in society. You will be forgotten. I know. We always want to be remembered. So this is your call to make a big impact now. Don't let fear hold you back from doing something incredible, because nobody cares in the best way possible. Being human is the most beautiful thing you can be. You have the ability to think, reason, question, and most importantly, fail. Failure is essential to life and leadership. It teaches you so many things and provides you with so many insights into yourself. So fail. Be human and stop focusing so much on the leaf. There is a beautiful forest surrounding you, so don't forget to look around. Look around. Look around. Important stories live within us all here at this Leadership Academy Connect Summit. Your story and these experiences will be remembered.